Concerns that Japan could soon be hit with a catastrophic megaquake have caused some tourists from Hong Kong to rethink their travel plans.
日本從來都係咧一年四季咧都係好受歡迎嘅目的地嚟㗎啦，哪怕咧即係你係熱到爆炸嘅咁樣，但大家一樣都係東京玩好開心嘅。咁但的確係咧呢一段日子啦，咁特別而家係5月尾啊或者6月啦，咁從來都係比較淡靜嘅咁樣。咁但暫時咧即係去日本嘅一啲旅行團啦，嗰個收客嗰個情況咧，的確係比較咧即係慢咗少少嘅咁樣。
But how realistic are these concerns?
Obviously, there are earthquakes in Japan, so that anyone visiting Japan has to accept some minor risk that a big earthquake could happen anytime, including while they're here. Do you come to Japan as a tourist or not? People have to make up their own mind.
And why are so many people so focused on a specific date?
7月5日的地震和巨大海啸。
Bencana akan terjadi pada 5 Juli 2025.
El 5 de julio del 2025, la gran catástrofe.
Japan is one of the most seismically active countries on Earth. On average, it experiences 2 to 3 earthquakes every single day. The vast majority of them are little more than minor tremors, but every few years, tragedy strikes. Now, recent warnings about the potential destruction of a long-rumored megaquake have some worried that a disaster is imminent.
For the first time in history, Japan has issued a warning of a megaquake expected to strike in the near future.
Worries center on the Nankai trough, an undersea geological depression that sits atop a fault line that has been the source of some of Japan's worst earthquakes and tsunamis. Seismologists have warned Japan could be struck by a magnitude 9 earthquake along the Nankai fault line sometime within the next 30 years. Recent government reports have raised the possibility to an 80% chance of a megaquake by 2055. This government-produced simulation shows how severe a Nankai megaquake could be. And if it happens, it could be catastrophic. Government estimates place a potential death toll as high as 300,000. More than half of the coastal communities along Japan's eastern coast could be struck by a massive tsunami. In some places, the wave could be as high as 20 meters. Prompted by evidence that a smaller quake near the Nankai Trough could precede a megaquake, Japan issued its first Nankai warning shortly after a magnitude 7 quake shook Miyazaki Prefecture in August 2024.
やっぱり前から南海トラフって言われて、地震があるかもしれないって言われてたので、なんかいよいよ来ちゃったんだなっていう思いはあって、すごい不安な気持ちにはなったので、そういう呼びかけ、防災グッズの見直しとかにはきっかけにはなるので、すごい呼びかけは必要だなっていうふうに思います。
But not everyone is convinced.
The danger is that if you say Nankai is dangerous and you repeat that over and over and over again, people who live in other areas will say, oh, hey, we're not at risk at all. They're always talking about Nankai. The sad truth is that everywhere in Japan is at risk.
While the Japanese government's warnings have followed instances of sizable earthquakes near the Nankai Trough, there's another warning making the rounds online that has some convinced the megaquake is not only imminent, but that it will happen on a specific date. This is the hit manga Watashi ga Mita Mirai, or The Future I Saw, by Ryo Tatsuki. Tatsuki's manga illustrates her dream diaries, which she says contain visions of the future. Tatsuki gained notoriety in Japan after claiming to have predicted the deaths of Princess Diana and rock star Freddie Mercury, as well as the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. Now, a prediction that Japan could be struck by a massive tsunami in July 2025 has gone viral across Asia, prompting a wave of trip cancellations. In Hong Kong, bookings for trips to Japan have dropped by some 50%, according to an analysis of travel booking conducted by Bloomberg. Weekly arrival bookings from the city for late June to early July were also down more than 80%.
有客人直講就話咧，聽得太多咧，即係一啲咧所謂日本自己咧一啲漫畫家就話預言咧唔知幾多月幾多號啦，咁就會有咧即係嚴重嘅地震啊咁樣。咁咧嗰個又將佢以前咧所謂啲預測又好似咧拼埋咧真係發生咗嘅事情，咁大家又覺得有幾可信嘅咁樣，咁呢個就有所影響咯。
The Hong Kong-based Greater Bay Airlines and other carriers have suspended some flights after noticing a decrease in demand. Travel industry experts in Hong Kong point to concerns over the megaquake predictions as one reason why Hong Kongers headed to other directions during recent busy travel periods.
嗱，我諗起碼慢咗一半啊，咁樣。咁咧，例如可能過去可能每個星期可能有3個團、4個團成團，可能咧即係暫時去日本咧，可能1個星期啦。我哋啲中小型嘅旅行社啦，咁可能成團嘅數目啦，大概可能1個星期都係可能2團啊、3團啦，比以前可能超過4團啊，甚至可能咧更加多咧，個情況係少咗。
It might sound obvious, but experts point out that a manga, no matter how widely shared it is, cannot accurately predict an earthquake.
The cranks have no scientific grounds for what they're saying, but that doesn't mean the risk is zero. It only means it's very small. Lots of people like to get their name in newspapers or TV or whatever. And if someone makes a very specific prediction, the reaction of journalists is to report it as like a 50-50 proposition. Well, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. We've got to tell our readers. So as long as the news media will sensationally report these things, it'll never stop.
But Geller has taken a step further, casting doubt on the scientific basis of earthquake predictions issued by the Japanese government. Seismologists said the government's forecasts overstate the probability of a megaquake occurring anytime soon.
They've put their thumb on the scales a little bit.
He said the official figure itself is also far less alarming than news headlines often paint it to be.
The government has stated there's an 80% chance of a very large earthquake in the Nankai trough area in the next 30 years. So that's really a probabilistic forecast. If that was right, well, 30 years is like 10,000 days. So that means there's one chance in 10,000, even if that's right, that the quake would happen tomorrow. And that's not really a high enough probability, even if it's correct, to justify changing one's behavior.
The government's forecast, like many others around the world, is based on the theory that earthquakes occur on a semi-regular timeline. The basic assumption is that tectonic plates build up pressure along fault lines and that the pressure is released as earthquakes at measurable intervals. Geller argues the assumption is not scientifically accurate.
It's based on the idea that quakes repeat periodically at regular intervals and that we're quote-unquote overdue or nearly due. But scientifically, quakes are not periodic. What's more nearly correct is that tectonic plates are moving with respect to one another. And that builds up stress throughout the entire crust on a wide area. And that stress is not released regularly on a fault-by-fault basis, but it's released in toto by more or less random occurrence of earthquakes in different places that over a long geological period of time.
So, should you reconsider that planned Japanese holiday? The answer to that question depends entirely on the individual. But for Geller, the potential risks aren't high enough to impact his life.
It's like other things in life that if we panic because of every very, very small but non-zero risk, we'll just hide away in our house all day and never go anywhere.